Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Heat Ray Vision podcast. Tonight I got myself Hector, also known as Scene 6, and with me I got Mario.
What up?
And Hav.
What up, what up?
And tonight we're going to be reviewing the 9th episode of HBO's The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, man. It's finally come to an end.
The concluding chapter.
Right. But before we get into it, guys, you guys can listen to us anywhere on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and also on Spotify. Make sure you guys follow our socials at Heat Ray Vision Podcast or go to heatrayvisionpodcast.com. You'll see all of our socials, all of our links. And make sure you guys follow our Instagram, okay? I like to do polls. You know, if you guys have questions, you know, we'll do small Q&As in the beginning of the show. If you want your question to be featured and everything, or if you want a shout out, we'll definitely do that for you. But yeah, with that out the way, let's get into it. Last episode of The Last of Us. Damn, it's crazy, man. It's already. I remember when we first started.
It's been a long ride.
It's been 9 weeks.
Dang.
9 weeks.
Man.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember the first episode like it was yesterday, man.
It was a good episode, man.
Episode
Okay,
was
so
fire.
this episode, leading up to this, man, I was worried about the pacing and everything. Oh, and once again, guys, spoilers. I believe even spoilers for the game,
Part 2.
even for part 2, maybe. So if you guys aren't really caught up with that, maybe you should click off because I can't tell you if we are gonna mention that stuff just in case to be safe. Right. So yeah, just letting you guys know right now. So okay, so this episode was definitely an important episode. And it was one that I was actually worried about because we had the rumors. You said the runtime was really
that this is the shortest episode of the season, and it was true.
and it was surprisingly.
That's crazy.
It was like 47 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, man, that's crazy for the finale, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? And not only that, like Mario and I'm not so sure about you, Huff, but Mario and I, we felt like it was a bit rushed, like in not the episode, but like the show was. Like, we're on crunch time. Like, are they gonna pull it off? Like,
got a lot to fit in.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, what's gonna happen, right? So in the beginning of the episode, how does this episode start off? Oh, right, it starts off. So after we get the crazy gruesome events with Ellie, we get the stuff that we see in the game where Ellie's kind of dozing off. She's not herself, and I actually saw that. I'm like, dang, like.
That's what she is.
Yeah, you know,
so she's in the game.
like Ellie would be like she's less talkative here.
She was very distant.
She's distant.
Exactly.
She's traumatized
Right.
from the events that happened in winter.
Yeah, man,
And there's no more snow. So
Oh, yeah.
obviously
New
some months
season.
has passed,
yeah.
and she's still being distant. So
That's
like
true.
she's still being quiet and not really as engaging as she used to be. It's funny because I actually watched this show with my mom, and we actually finished it together. We watched all the episodes every week and stuff.
I was about to say.
And so she noticed. She was like, "It's funny that like now we're at the end, and
Yeah.
Joel's doing all the talking while Ellie's being quiet.
Yeah.
Whereas
That's true.
when they first started, it was the other way around.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
And I
That
was-
Joel, like, you could see Joel's actually trying to talk to her.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? All these different things. You could actually see that in Joel. And now we're near the finish line. They're going to find that what was it? University.
The no.
The
Hospital.
The hospital.
Sorry. Yes, the hospital. Right, the hospital, and they pretty much. So before they are interrupted in the game, we know like that tunnel bullshit. Remember in the game?
Yeah, where you get like there's like a flood.
Yeah, and
some
people
shit.
were like hoping we got that, and like honestly, I knew we weren't gonna get it just based on the time.
No,
like I already knew.
Yeah.
It'd be too much time.
Yeah, I'd be like, whatever. People were upset about that and stuff, but me, I was like, whatever. So they finally get in this. They're finally in this area. This what was it? Like a checkpoint area.
It was
Yeah.
it was a army base.
Army
it
base.
It was an army base place for where they patched up injured people.
Okay.
Because that's when Joel brings up his story.
Right. So right here, yeah, in this army base, this is where we get more backstory of Joel that we didn't even get in the game.
No, this was not in the game.
You know, this was
No,
crazy.
it was
right
all
here,
new.
right? Actually, wait, wait, I'm confused. Sorry. I think I'm jumping ahead. Is this after the giraffe?
This is.
It is after the giraffe, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm jumping ahead, guys. My fault. Go back to the giraffe part, right? Let's go back, right? Ellie's acting distant and stuff. They finally get to this building, right? Construction building, and they have to get high ground to scope the place out. And Ellie's like, "Oh my God, look!"
And she
almost
just runs off.
Yeah, and it runs off and almost kills Joe by dropping that ladder. I was like, God damn. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then Ellie's out here running and stuff, and I was telling Hav, I'm like, yo, why is she running? Like, you don't know what the fuck's up there. Like, what if there's a bloater? What if there's a clicker and stuff? You know what I mean? But anyway, she's running off. Joel ends up chasing her, and boom, we get the infamous scene that we got from the video game, right? We get the giraffe scene.
We had to have we had, and the set is like legit from the game. Like that's how it looks like.
I could have sworn, Mar, you said that you wanted that scene to happen, right? Was it you, bro? That you were like, oh, I really want that scene to happen.
I maybe it was like Ellie's.
Bro, what am I doing?
Ellie's.
I'm jumping all over the place because the beginning of the episode opened up with Ellie's mother.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, damn, am I fucking up? Did they go to Ellie's mother and like?
No, bro, you're complete. Listen, guys, listeners, man, I'm complete. I saw this episode once. I'm completely sorry. I completely forgot. Javi saw it twice, and the motherfucker didn't catch me. What the fuck, Jav?
I thought we were just gonna get there eventually.
Okay, okay. So I just stopped 2 different side quests already. Like what the? Okay, let's just okay. Let's finish. No. Let's finish the giraffe. Okay, we already talked about it. Let's just finish that. We'll go back to the mother, and then we'll go back to the story with Joel. Okay. Right. Okay, so the giraffe scene. Okay, Mario, what were you saying again before I cut you off?
I was saying I really wanted to see the Ellie's mom scene. And the giraffe, I said, I'm like, they got to put it in there, bro, because it's supposed to be this like majestic, beautiful moment in the game. Yeah. Like, there's no way they don't put it in there. And I just bring out like how that scene in the game and the adaptation to the show is literally fucking spot on, every fucking detail. And it was really cool. So like the baseball field even is there. The fucking background's the same. The fucking what they're sitting on.
With the multiple giraffes.
Yeah,
and stuff.
bro. Like I'm like, damn, they really copy. Like I think this is probably the most accurate.
That giraffe was real.
Real?
I was about to say that. I was about to bring that up. That giraffe was real, but dude, to me it looks CGI.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So that's me personally. I thought that bitch was CGI.
Damn,
and then later crazy. I saw that it was real, and they have behind the scene photos of the giraffe like being real, whatever.
That's
like,
crazy.
Whatever. And me, I'm like, what the? Did it look CGI to you?
It looks CGI to me, bro.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I'm like,
that looks CGI to you? Don't lie, motherfucker.
So the scene where they were being filmed up close, I knew it was a real giraffe.
Okay.
It looked very real. CGI would not look that good. But there were shots where it was like a wide shot, where it was like the one that's like far, far away. That one, it did look like it was a CGI giraffe.
No, bro, for me, up close, it looks CGI. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what the fuck. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know why. It just looked, I don't know.
I know what you mean, man.
I know it is.
I was shocked. CGI. I just looked at it, I'm like, oh, CGI. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, right. I was like,
I moved on.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
So here, it's a great scene because here is where like Joe is like sort of backing out. You know, Joe's like, hey, we don't got to do this.
Like,
let's go back to Tommy's.
Let's go back. I know we just did all this shit, but like, we ain't no bitches. Like, we can go back. Like, fuck the fireflies, bro. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? It's
like,
to be fair,
they bitches, bro. They
to be
fair,
like, they didn't even go through a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no.
You saw me,
come on, bitch. Right?
Bro, I
like, get it.
It's like, you know how many firefly bodies we
in
found?
The game, bro. In the game, they went through hell.
Yeah.
So it's different, right?
Yeah.
But in the show, I'm like, man, of course Joe wants to go back. He don't give a fuck. He could do this again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then even when once we get Marlene introduced, she's like, I don't know how you did it. Just you and her.
Lost.
I'm like, come on, man.
I forgot how much she lost a lot of guys, too.
Oh, but yeah, okay, whatever, right?
But go back.
So we get this scene, like, come on, Ellie, we could go back. We could go back to Tommy's. We don't got to do this. And then Ellie's like, no, like, we've come this far. It can't be for nothing. That famous line, right? It can't be for nothing. You know, we're already here and stuff like that. And at that point, I don't know. I guess at that point, Joel is just feeling like, yo, man, like, I guess, actually, why? Because Joel doesn't know, obviously, that Ellie is going to die for the surgery, whatever, right? So why do you think Joel was like saying that to her when they were so close to the finish? Why do you think Joel was like, hey, we don't gotta do this, let's just dip? You know what I mean? Like, why do you think he was acting that way? You know what I mean?
Who knows, man? I mean, probably because she saw how distant she was becoming and how traumatized she was left from the events that happened in winter, that he didn't want to risk maybe continuing on the journey in case something else would happen to her.
Right.
Maybe because winter, or no, not winter. Well, yeah, winter. But in the Tommy episode, that one, right? He finally accepted Ellie as family. Like the next morning when they see each other at the stables and he decides to go with Ellie instead of Tommy taking her. At that point, he had accepted her as family, so now he has like a care for her. like as his like daughter figure. So maybe he was afraid that the surgery or whatever, or that, well, he didn't even know it would be a surgery.
Yeah.
But like maybe he
On the way there, something could happen.
Maybe on the something like that, or maybe he would have to turn her into the Fireflies, and he'd never see her again.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Like maybe
yeah.
he was just afraid that
He would not see her again.
Something would happen to her. You know what I mean? Which we know could have.
Right.
Right.
So that happens. Ellie's like, no, we got to do this and stuff. So that scene, dude, they did a great job from the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job.
And it also shows that she really wanted to go through with it.
Oh yeah.
Because not because because it's a very like generic line for them to be like, after everything we've been through, right?
Yeah.
But it's more so because she feels like she lost a lot of people in her journey, in her lifetime, due to these bites, due to these infected, right? So for one, she lost her mom, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she doesn't even know how her mom died, but we saw in the flashback, right? Then Riley ended up dying, and then Tess ended up dying, and then she saw Sam ended up dying, and she couldn't, and she realized that she's told in the first episode, we don't see a scene, but we know eventually, we know what happens. In the very first episode of the show, just like in the game, Marlene tells Ellie why she's so important. She's like, you were bit 3 weeks ago, and you didn't turn. You're immune.
Yeah.
And so maybe throughout this journey, she realized that she is the answer, that she holds the key
Absolutely.
for a possible cure. So it makes the deaths that she had to witness, like Sam's death and Tess's death and Riley's death, make it be like, no, we have to go through with this, because all those people died because there was no cure, because I decided to back out. And she feels that maybe she feels like she has the responsibility of having to complete this mission of being in with the Fireflies, because she's lost so much, because there wasn't a cure.
Yeah.
And she's like, there will not be a cure if I'm not there.
That's true.
So she's like, in memory of my best friend and like her crush, right? Riley, in memory of Tess, and especially in memory of Sam. Because something that they did in the show that was different in the game was that Sam revealed the bite to her, and then she cut her hand and spread her blood on his wound.
Trying to save him.
Thinking that she could save him. So that death kind of hits harder for her too. So maybe she had she feels like she had the obligation to go through with it so that she could like do it for them. So she'd be like, so we would never have to go through another Riley, another Tess, another Sam situation. Like maybe that's why she saw it that way, because she felt like she had the obligation to. You know what I mean? I that's just me thinking deeply into it, and maybe thinking like, well, why does she think?
Yeah.
Because we know why. We already kind of guessed why Joel didn't want to go through with it, but now it's a matter of understanding why Ellie does want to go through with it. Like I said, it's very generic for them to be like, after everything we've been through, but it's like, is it deeper than that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
I think that's what it is.
You know what I mean?
I think you pretty much said it. I think that's what it is too. And but I can't really add on to it.
Yeah,
he nailed it. Like
yeah.
you pretty much nailed it. That's exactly what it is. And the scene was really great. So now that I'm not being a fucking idiot, let's go back to the beginning, right? Because I completely forgot.
The prequel?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's
With
go
Anna,
where we get Ellie's mom, right?
Yep.
We learn in. So this is not in the game, right? We finally learn Ellie's mom and what happened to her, and how Marlene was in the play and stuff. And not only that, we also learn how she's immune. Mm-hmm. Which that's another big thing that we always wondered. How is she immune? And me, by it happening, bro, I remember I was watching with you. I'm like, oh, what if that's why she's immune? Because blah, blah, blah. Remember? And you're like, oh, yeah. And then finally they confirmed it. And I was like, holy shit, I actually called that shit. Do you remember? Do you remember what it was, Mario? Just to be sure. Like, did you know that how that they confirmed that how she's immune?
They confirmed it? Like, they actually confirmed it? Like,
yeah. It was at the end. When did they confirm it?
When Joel wakes up at the hospital.
Right.
Oh, the shit in her. I forgot how they explained it, bro.
They said that.
But I remember the scene. Yeah.
That like the cordyceps in her brain mutated to make the cordyceps think that she's already cordyceps, and then she says something along the lines of like, "Oh, it's something that happened to her during since birth," and that was like the confirmation of Hector's theory that he thought that what we saw in the prequel with Ellie's mom is why they showed it to us, is so that we could see how Ellie is immune. But yeah, she basically says that like, oh, it sends a messenger to the brain that tells the cordyceps that she's already cordyceps.
Yeah. So what? Okay. So what happened is So we finally get Ellie's mother, and it's no other than Javi.
Ashley Johnson.
There you go. No Bill Nye needed. He knows the actors, right? Like I said, man, I know the face. If you give me the faces and you give me, that's the motherfucker who played this or who played that in the game, I'll know. But I don't know the fucking actor's name. That's why I love Javi for that. So yeah, so she, and people who don't know, she is the main voice actor and even actor, bro.
Motion capture.
Of Ellie from the video game.
10 years ago. Well, more than that, because 10 years ago is when the game came out, but they were making the game before.
Right. So it was really cool seeing her, and like so we see this ranch house, and to me, I don't know if you guys
did you think of.
I thought of part 2.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought that ranch house, way.
I thought that ranch house is hinting towards part 2. Remember where Ellie in part 2 she ends up having that ranch house? What if Ellie finds out this is where like my mom died or whatever, and then she decides to move in there and stuff? You know what I mean? That's just what I thought. Maybe it's reaching. I don't know. Maybe it's less
it did look similar. It did look similar, bro. That's what I thought too. And I was like, yo, that looks
that's
like
what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we get this picture of Ellie's mom running into this house because she's running away from something, right? She's running away from an infected. She goes in this room. She locks herself. She tries barricading in her room. And while this is happening, we see that she's pregnant. And she's in pain. And she's grunting. And when she was grunting, like closing the door and grunting, all I heard was Ellie, bro.
Yeah.
All I heard was Ellie when she was grunting and stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
This whole scene, bro, I was like, bro, this is it right here.
Yeah, man. This shit is Ellie, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when we saw the winter episode, Troy Baker, is that his name?
Troy. Yeah.
Shout out, hey, Joel, man. I just know you as Joel. But with him, when he showed up, I was prepared to hear Joel, but I didn't, and Javi explained it to me.
Yeah, that changes.
Yeah, Javi, I didn't know that, right? I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff. So Javi explained it to me. He's like, oh, no, bro, he had to make a voice for him. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, dang, I was like really hoping to hear Joel, but whatever. But then he told me that he told me that Ashley Johnson. Yeah, he told me that she didn't have to make a voice. Bro, like it was just her voice or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, of course I see it. When you hear the grunting, that's fucking Ellie, man. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just nostalgic or like we just love the game so much. When you hear Ellie, it's just like it's just so distinct, and it's like, dang, I just like that voice. And same with
like,
Joel.
That's my Ellie.
Yeah, and same with Joel. When you hear Joel's voice, like, man, like. I don't explain it, man. It's just maybe nostalgic. Maybe we just love the game so much. But yeah, so eventually that infected that she's running away from breaks down the door, and
starts going crazy.
Yeah, starts going crazy starts going crazy towards Ellie's mother. And honestly, to be honest, this is the only infected we see in the fucking episode. Yeah. Once again, guys, right? I mean, for the biggest complaint of me and Mario about the infected, this is all the infected we get in this episode, which we'll talk more about the infected later on. And so she ends up obviously killing the infected with that knife, and saying that knife is obviously the one that Ellie uses. We know that now. We know that was Ellie's.
Handy down.
Yeah, right. And at this point, she's already like she's in labor, bro. She's like her water broke when she was going up the stairs. Remember, she's like, oh fuck, like, whatever. And she's going through all this stress, whatever. She ends up killing the infected, and she ends up giving birth
to Ellie.
Right, but before she gives birth, or actually. I can't remember. Did she have that bite? She had a bite in her thigh. Did she have that bite and then she gave birth?
She gave birth first.
And then she already had that bite?
And she picked up the baby and she was crying and shit. Then she looks down, notices the bite and goes, oh shit, grabs the knife, then cuts the umbilical cord.
Okay. Yes.
So that's why she's immune, because she got bit before she cut the umbilical cord.
Exactly. So she, and it wasn't directly towards her, but it maybe had to been something where the infection got in her bloodstream, but obviously she was still connected to the umbilical cord, and maybe that had to be something like something within. Yeah, because the baby wasn't obviously bitten, but she still had that type of infection, kind of running through. And so she immediately cut it though, so it was only for a little while.
Yeah,
right. So maybe that is why, because of that rare instance, that is why Marlene at the end explains that the infection thinks that Ellie's already infected, and that's why it doesn't do anything else.
That's exactly how she puts it.
You're right. So me, before Marlene confirmed that, bro, I said that to Hav. I pointed it out. I'm like, yo, Hav, bro, she was bitten and then she gave birth and she cut the umbilical. I mentioned it to him. Like, what if, bro?
That's the reason.
Just fucking around, right? I'm like, yo, Hav, bro, what if that's the reason? Why, bro? And Javi's like, oh yeah, maybe. And then it wasn't until like she confirmed it, and I was hyped. I'm like, come on, Jav, give me that. I was dabbing him up and everything. I was like, give me that, because I was like, dude, I guess that makes sense.
He did a backflip and everything, bro.
Yeah, man.
Hell no.
3 cartwheels. You know what I mean?
3 cartwheels.
Yeah. So that's what I thought from the beginning. So, and obviously, you know, Marlene ends up finding her, right? And they're best friends. You know?
Yeah, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah,
apparently,
you find out.
I can't remember if that was in the game or not, but apparently,
I think in the very beginning she may have mentioned it. Dude, I could be wrong though. I could have sworn they mentioned her mom in the game.
I know in the game when Joel finds out the news, and he gets like hit down by that soldier. She's like, "You don't think this hurts me too? What we're about to do to Ellie? I promised her mom I'd keep her safe."
Yeah,
that's the only mention we get. But in the show, we understand that. Apparently, Marlene and Anna, which is Ellie's mom's name, right?
I forgot her name. Yeah, that's why I just said Ellie's mom.
So Marlene and Anna were actually friends since childhood. They've actually known each other for a very long time.
Right.
And not only that, but Anna she begs Marlene to kill her after she takes Ellie, and she does.
But she struggles with it.
No, she struggles with it first, but then she comes back and shoots her in the head
immediately.
And that kind of now makes the scene that we see in the game, but now that we see it in the show, of him being like, you know, when Joel gets the news and he's like, "You don't understand," and she's like, "No, actually, I do."
And it makes sense.
And like now that scene hits different because now we know that there was a history between her and Ellie's mom, and how they were best friends and they knew each other since childhood, and she had to watch her best friend die. Like she had to kill her own best friend. So now that scene hits different, which I thought was really cool. And I think that's one of the things I got to give props to The Last of Us show. You know, despite it not being exactly the same as the game and we having our gripes, the one thing that I do like is that the creator of the show, like the showrunners, the people that were working on the show, they kept their word, bro. They held to what they promised us, which was, we're gonna include stuff in the show that we didn't have time to include in the game. You know, we saw a bunch of examples of that. This is just another one on the list. On top of that, we saw in the very first episode, we saw that talk show, you know, interviewing back in the 60s.
Which is that intro was fire.
Yeah, because that scientist just breaks down how cordyceps works. And I remember when we first saw that episode, I looked at you and I was like, bro, I feel like I understand how it works. Like it's one of those explanations where you show it to,
and it's like creepy too. Like you feel
it's
the
scary. You're like, man,
oh.
fuck that. What the hell? Or like the extra long, you know, that extra long, like, what's the right word for it? I guess time period that we get with Joel and Sarah, right? We see more of Ellie, but when she interacts, like before she meets Joel, because we meet Ellie when Joel meets Ellie in the game, but we see more of her before she meets Joel.
Yeah,
we see the whole Bill and Frank relationship that we didn't get to see in the game. You know, we got to see that whole, like, the resistant fighters in Kansas City and Kathleen and all them and shit. Like, I liked that the show actually added more stuff, and it just kind of adds to the depth of the story. Just makes the story a lot more richer and a lot more, like, has more content. And I really like that.
And one thing with that, like I said, man, where I do enjoy that, but where they drop the ball is with the Bill and Frank episode. Because honestly, what you said is true, but they kind of didn't, because like I said, this is controversial, right? The Frank and Bill episode is great, and honestly, they could have cut it shorter, or honestly replace it, right? Replace the episode with what? I think you know, Mom, say Hav. Replace it with a flashback of Joel and Tommy.
Oh, that's right.
Right, because in the game, it's like, you know what I did to you. I mean, you know what I did for you, whatever. And Tommy's like, it's like, that ain't living, or like whatever. I don't know what the fuck. happened.
You're
like, damn, what the fuck did they go through?
Right.
So I feel like that episode could have been cut shorter, or honestly replace it with a flashback of fucking Tommy and Joel, what they had to do to overcome the early stages of the infection.
So
like 5 years in or whatever the fuck.
So it's interesting how, like, you know, the showrunner said, "Oh, we're gonna include stuff in the show that we didn't have time to show in the game," and you would think of all things that they could add, like things that we didn't see in the game that they can now show in the TV show. It's kind of strange they wouldn't include something like that.
And it would have added more character development. It would have added more character to the story. Like, now you understand why Joel is this way. Now you understand why Tommy is like unsure, doesn't want to trust Joel or whatever. You know what I mean? And to be honest, like I said, man, like, it's controversial. I would rather replace the Bill and Frank episode because, let's be real, it had no correlation. It didn't really add value to Ellie and Joel, right? To their development, right? The Left Behind, sure, okay, bringing the DLC thing into the main, sure, whatever. It's like, it's not a. I didn't really like the idea, but I understand it and it makes sense because it adds that character development to Ellie. So get rid of Bill and Frank episode and give me a flashback of fucking Tommy and Joel, them surviving in the early stages of the infected, doing what they had to do. I don't know.
So what you're saying is, in the Bill of Frank episode, we saw their lives in the span of 20 years. Because, you know, the pandemic started in 2003, and then, you know, started doing time jumps, and we saw the relationship grow. So what you're saying is an episode where it's Joel and Tommy, and the same thing where, like, the years kind of go on, and we see them do even darker and darker shit, and, you know, Joel's kind of growing numb to killing people and shit, but Tommy still has that, like, I still don't like that we're doing this, Joel, and that's honestly, why, bro. Oh, okay.
That's what I replaced that shit with that, because it would have added more value. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to hate. I'm just speaking facts right now. People might think, oh, it's because, you know, no, it's not because they're gay or whatever.
No,
it's just they literally. It's a great episode, but if you really think, the reason why I let it slide was because it was episode 3, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll let it slide. I got to see what everything else. But now that the series is over, we see everything. It's kind of like, okay, now it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, we didn't need that shit. We actually did not need that episode. Get the fuck out. You should have showed us. You saying, oh, we wanted to add more things we couldn't show in the game. Okay, well, why show more of Bill and Frank? Let's be real, dude. Why show more Bill and Frank than a backstory of your main fucking character?
Or why not just Bill and Joel? Because remember he said
or something like that.
Because remember in the game he owed Bill owed Joel a favor. We were like, I wonder what that favor was.
Yeah, but then again, they didn't really adapt that in the show.
No, I'm saying, why instead of that episode,
you wanted to see that.
Why wouldn't we see that?
See what that favor was or whatever.
And then Joel and Ellie pull up and Bill's there.
Or maybe just cut Bill and Frank's episode shorter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and I don't know, cut it shorter or whatever the fuck, and then have that Tommy and Joe and stuff. But that's one thing that, like...
Or what about add an episode and just make it an even 10?
Yeah,
that too.
You know what? Sure, okay.
And you could have that episode, that prequel episode, the episode before Joel finds Tommy in that community.
Exactly. Yes, bro.
Because then you have that. Yes. You already have that preset, backstory, like that history of them. So that when they see each other, and you know, they embrace that hug. Oh shit, my brother's alive.
Exactly.
But then they're at that bar, and he's like, "Oh, those things you judged me for." Like, you know what they're fucking talking about.
Exactly. If it was 10 episodes or 11 or even 12, boom, it's cool. Ignore what I just said. But I'm just judging it from the 9 episodes. If you had to make, if HBO said, nah, 9 episodes. Okay, Max. 9 episodes. Get the fuck out, Bill and Frank. Sorry, right? And bring in fucking Tommy and Joel. I want to see what the fuck they did in those 20 years. I want to see why Tommy doesn't trust Joel and doesn't want to do these favors. I want to see why Tommy couldn't sleep at night and be like, "Oh my God, Joel, I wasn't living." And I want to see why Joel, as an older brother, he had to do these sacrifices, like kind of what Henry does with Sam, right? I wanted to see that, man, and we didn't see that. And throughout the show, I was actually hyped because when they said we're gonna add things, and when they did, I was hyped. I'm like, "Oh my God, we could get a flashback with Joel and Tommy and see what the fuck they were talking about in the game." Yep. We could see why Joel became this
robot.
This killer person with no emotion. He just didn't give a fuck. Or same with Tommy, and you know what I mean, bro. So that's my controversial take right there, man. People might not agree with me. People might agree with me, whatever. And like I said, just to be clear, it's not because they're fucking gay, okay? It's just the fact that they added no story. They added no value to the main characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you. There's also a lot. I can't remember if I ever brought this up, dude.
What?
Can't remember if there was a previous podcast where I brought this up. I honestly can't remember. So I'm just gonna bring it up. And if I did bring it up to you guys before, sorry for repeating myself.
I'll stop you.
Yeah, all right, sure. But when that third episode came out, the Bill and Frank episode, I remember going on social media right after that episode had aired, like throughout the week, and I saw a bunch of people, and I mean a bunch of people, saying that the Bill and Frank episode from the Last of Us TV show is HBO's magnum opus.
Magnum opus.
What is that?
Oh, that's like their greatest thing.
Magnum opus. A magnum opus. Like if you say that this thing right here is that person's magnum opus, it means that's the best thing they've ever done.
I don't know.
So people were saying
we've talked about it before too.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we have.
So I remember hearing people say that the Bill and Frank episode was
the best episode ever in television history.
In HBO,
fuck you. No, it's not.
In HBO's history.
Fuck no.
Now here's the thing. Like I'm gonna be honest. This might sound controversial. I've never seen every single HBO show. I haven't even seen Game of Thrones. I know, uncultured, right? Sorry guys, but it is what it is. But I haven't seen every HBO show they've put out. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, right? The Wire,
Band of Brothers.
Sopranos, that one.
Band of Brothers is amazing.
I've never seen any of them. But I can tell you right now, statistically, no fucking way.
No.
It's not the best
They're all...
episode.
Dude, okay.
Is it a good episode?
No, I won't even say it's good. It's great. It's a great episode.
Listen, we all... Okay, guys. For fucking listening, you fucking piece of shit motherfuckers. We all gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. It was great.
It's a good fucking episode. A 10 out of 10. But we're not fucking idiots, and we're not the slave minds, right? We're not going to be thinking, this is the best cinema. The only reason why they doing that? Why, bro? Come on, let's be real, because they're fucking gay. It's a gay fucking couple, bro. Let's be real. They're pushing that agenda.
Yeah.
They're pushing all that bullshit agenda. That's why, oh my God, it's the greatest in television. People are only saying that to feel included. Like, look at us, guys. We think that this is the best show, this episode in television history in HBO. Look at us. We support you. We support you. You know what I mean? Fuck you. No, that's what it is, dude.
No, I know what it is.
That's what it is.
I know it is.
And that's bullshit. Like, dude, it's a great episode, but the best in like HBO's history. Like, or I didn't know about HBO. I saw people were saying in television.
No.
Like television, bro.
No, fuck
no.
One of the best in television history.
Listen, girl.
And that's where I disagreed. I'm like, you stupid as hell.
Listen,
dude.
bitch. Sit down and watch Breaking Bad, then come talk
Exactly,
to me, girl.
right? Like, dude, are you serious right now?
No,
Best
I get it.
get out of here. They only did that because, like I said, the whole gay shit.
The best adaptation of a video game. Then you have an argument. You generally have an argument there.
because now the argument is not wide.
Yeah,
now you're centering
yeah.
it. Now you're centering it down to a specific subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one episode, come on, man.
Being the best episode that HBO's ever produced in their history.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if y'all ever seen Band of Brothers, bro, but that shit's incredible.
Or even Game of Thrones.
Or Game of Thrones. That's like
that's
the big one.
House of Dragon, which is the Game of Thrones prequel.
Yeah.
I heard the first season was fire.
Yeah.
Sopranos and The Wire are both iconic shows from HBO.
So
I mean, to tell me this episode was better than any other episode that HBO's done in those shows?
Dude, fuck no.
Here's the thing: I've never seen those shows, so I can't say that. I'm just saying statistically.
I'll watch The Wire tonight. All of it.
I'll binge all the episodes.
What if they said this episode was better than all the John Wicks?
No, they true.
That's crazy.
All the John Wicks.
What if they said this episode was better than Far, Far Away, or whatever the fuck that Spider-Man was?
Far Away.
Or whatever it was called. What's it called?
No Way Home.
Spider-Man. No Way Home. The one with all Spider-Mans.
Yeah, No Way Home.
No Way Home. That one.
Far, Far Away.
I forgot. I missed it. But what was better than that one, Ham? How would you react?
I was gonna
to
say
that?
Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah, even better. Spider-Man 2. What would you say?
Spider-Man 2.
I say y'all tripping.
No.
Hey, listen. And I said this. I forget which podcast we recorded where I said this. And I'm gonna say it again. If y'all disagree with me, hey, we'll fly you out, girl, and I argue with you face to face.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, hey man, the episode was great. Like Hector said, it's a 10 out of 10. I fuck with that episode, but better than Spider-Man 2? Nah. Sorry, girl.
I mean, we came up with
Toby
that.
for life.
It's not people are not saying that, huh? We just made that up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you made it seem like people are actually saying that. Hey man, imagine Twitter everywhere. Yo, this was better than Spider-Man 2. Fuck you, Sam Raimi. You know? No, man. Like, let's be real, man. It's the gay agenda shit.
I know.
That's what they're pushing on, man. We not. I mean, like most of these people are stupid and clueless that they don't realize that. But let's be real. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it thing like, oh my god, like they hate gays or whatever. No, bro, we gave it a 10 out of 10. It's a really great episode.
Yeah.
And I let it slide. But like I said, looking at all the 9 episodes, I'm like, dude, we didn't need that shit. Give me fucking Joel and Tommy.
Mm.
Let's be real, man. Cut that bitch short. Cut that episode short. Boom. Get out of here. You know, it could have been merged in another episode or something. I don't fucking know. But whatever, dude. That's how it is. So, okay, we talked about that. Where are we at right now?
The hospital. We didn't talk about it.
Okay, yes. So we get to, okay, so now we're at the hospital. We're at the hospital, guys.
We should probably talk about the camp still, because it's an important part.
We're at the hospital.
Because where they're at the camp, there's an important scene here where Joel literally talks about.
Yeah, we want to skip over that again.
Yeah. So Joel and Ellie are talking and shit, and now we're finally getting Ellie to talk a whole lot more, and Joel opens up first, I'm pretty sure.
Do you think that's the reason why they added that giraffe scene?
No.
To kind of snap her out of that, like, sort of, like,
maybe
drained,
distant.
It definitely adds that. That definitely helps.
Maybe, like, seeing a live animal, being able to feed and having this, like, wholesome moment is what snaps her out of that sort of, like, depressive, drained.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
you're right.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Yeah. Definitely
adds to it.
Like,
maybe, like, it was, like, maybe, do you think it was, like, symbolism? Where, like, she is now, because she was almost raped and murdered and, you know, by a cannibal and shit, that she is, like, it's, like, symbolism in the sense that, like, maybe she is now the pinnacle of, like, what is the lowest point, like, what is depression and what is being distant, that seeing something as wholesome as, like, a real giraffe and feeding it was, like, giving her hope and, like, lighting up sort of the darkness that she was carrying with her. Yeah. Do you think it was, like, maybe, like, symbolism or something like that?
I think that's what it was, huh?
Because after that scene, Mario's right. She starts talking more now, and there's a conversation going on between Joel and Ellie.
She feels alive.
Right.
But so no, like, to get back to the...
we're about to skip that scene again, bro. That's funny.
I know, I was about to say, like, hold on. I was like, hold on. Like, this is a big scene with Joel. Tell us Ellie something here.
So give the rundown.
So after that, Joel and Ellie, they go into, like, this camp out here where they would treat the wounded. And like I said, Ellie is talking a whole lot more. Joel is going along with it. But then Joel, they stop for a brief moment. And Joel basically gives, like, a brief history how he was in one of these. And that they were treating him. And Ellie's like, well, why? Motherfucker, why are you here? He's like, well, I tried...
He says it's because of the scar.
The scar, yeah.
And she's like, oh, the guy that shot you and missed. I thought that would have happened later on. And she's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah, and basically, Joel was never shot at. He tried to off himself, but in the last second, he said, I'm a bitch. And flinched. And well,
I would say he was a bitch, bro. Don't disrespect Joel like that. Don't ever disrespect Joel like that, bro.
hey, if you can't commit to killing yourself, you're a bitch. That's literally what he just said. If you can't commit to killing yourself, you a bitch.
Bro, Mario just straight up triggered people listening to this.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's basically what happened, bro. He said that he like panicked last second, and he's like, you know what, never mind, and he missed in the bullet, and the
because you have to move fast as fuck.
Yeah.
I'd be slow as shit.
Hey,
bro.
man, he was 36, man. This was 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you gotta go fast as fuck.
Well, yeah, man.
You gotta go fast as fuck.
But the bullet, it grazed his head, right?
Yeah.
It grazed his head, and they stitched him up, and then he basically tells Ellie that, and Ellie, I forgot what Ellie says, but Ellie asked him, is like, well, why are you still here? What'd you do? He's like, well, for a long time I didn't have any, but now I have a motivation. Basically, it's Ellie. Ellie's his motivation.
So yeah. So he says that he tried to kill himself and he flinches, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no story, there's no like big like thing I gotta tell you. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I tried to kill myself, I flinched and I missed, and I just kind of moved on, and I just kind of cruised through life, just kind of feeling nothing. And she's like, oh, I get it. So like, all time heals wounds, right? And he goes, it wasn't time that did it. And I was like,
there we go.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, so he was like, he was like referencing to Ellie, right?
Yeah.
But,
and I was like, fuck, like, shit.
Right? Okay, hey, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Okay.
More.
But time does heal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get that moment, but like, it is true. Time does heal, because like with time, you always like.
Oh, how about this? With time, shit just gets easier to deal with, or in his sense. Because in Joel's sense,
okay, that's better.
Time makes it easier.
Yeah.
It's not because like it's facts. Because in the moment, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
but 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, I'm not better, but I'm not like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
I would say that.
That's true.
But yeah, man, we have that cool moment.
Yeah, we didn't know, and this was in the game.
Yeah, this part was not in the game.
That Joel tried to kill himself, man.
Yeah,
and
this was all new.
It kind of makes sense, bro. He lost his fucking daughter, man.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
And another thing too is like, even in the game, We never got to know like about in the game. I do remember like it was like a small, those dialogues in the game where you're just walking around, you just get dialogue.
Yeah.
We did get a mention of like Joel's like wife.
Yeah, I remember
in the game, right? Where he just says that he had Sarah at a young age in college or something,
something like that.
And then Ellie asks like, "Oh, well, what happened?" And then Joel's like, "Okay," like, and then she's like, "What? Too far?" And he's like, "Yep." And then that's it. So that's all we know.
I low-key wish we would have fucking found it. Well, maybe maybe season 2. Maybe season 2 we found
I don't know, man.
Like,
because it wasn't in the game. Like in the game, it wasn't even a cutscene. It was just a dialogue from when you're walking around.
That's crazy, right? Isn't that?
And so it's crazy because like we don't know.
Because Ellie asks about his wife.
Yeah. So we don't know what happened to Joel's wife. Like I guess she passed away, maybe. I don't know. Even with pictures, there's like we never got any pictures with her. Like,
yeah, she had to have passed away,
or anything
bro.
like that.
That's
so it's
my
kinda,
guess.
See, I always wondered.
Well, it's something fucked up. It had to be something fucked up.
Think so?
Yeah, either she passed away or like she like left them or some shit like that. Those are the only two reasons why.
My guess is I'm gonna just say pass away. Just add
that's
more
my
character.
vote too. I think she died.
I'm gonna just say she passed away to add more character, and then maybe, obviously, losing his wife, allegedly, right, and then losing
his daughter.
I could see why, like, he just and the world going to shit. I can see why he wanted to kill himself because, like, there's nothing else to fight for. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure. I guess what stopped him, I'm assuming, is his brother because, like, he still has his brother, Tommy, his little bro, and so I think maybe kind of helped them cruise the way he said it. Having his brother Tommy, But yeah, that scene was like, damn, really, like,
it was a very good scene.
Yeah, man. And then as they're walking around with the pun books, right? They're having a good time. Boom, flashbang, an EMP. What Javi said, right?
Yeah.
An EMP grenade. I mean, is it what, concussion grenade? Was it a concussion? A flashbang? I think it was a concussion grenade.
It probably concussion makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But and they get a concussion, whatever. They're like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on?" And Joe gets fucking hit in the fucking face, man, with the stock of a gun. And we obviously know, and Javi called this out too. He pointed it on trailer. That's how it's gonna happen because before it happened in the tunnel. Remember in the tunnel after that whole flooding and stuff.
That river shit. Yeah,
they get out of the tunnel, so they're like hard to breathe. Ellie's like almost drowning, and then the fireflies pull up. Hey, who the fuck are you? And all that stuff. We don't get that here. Right here, they're just walking like normal, having a good time. Concussion grenade. Joe gets fucking sticked in the face, and obviously Ellie's being dragged away and everything like that. And so then now we get to the hospital. Now we're at the hospital scene where Joel wakes up, and then we get this convo with Marlene. Do you want to give a quick rundown with that with Marlene and Joel?
Basically, when Joel wakes up, he meets Marlene. So now we're back to like we finally made it. Now this is basically how the audience knows we finally finished the journey. This is finally the mission complete because now we met up back with Marlene. And basically Marlene says, like, how'd you make it this far? I lost half my crew trying to get across the country. And he was like, oh, it was all her. She fought like hell to get here. It was all her, not me. It was all the girl. And he's like, oh, can I go see her? And Marlene's like, no, because she's being prepped for surgery. And he goes, what the fuck? What surgery? And that's when we get the explanation for why she's immune.
Exactly.
So basically what we said before, the cordyceps in her brain mutated, and it tells the cordyceps that she's already cordyceps, blah, 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 this and that. And they're like, she's like, and did you notice? The dialogue is slightly different. And it's one of those things where, like, if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't notice. But in the game, she's like, the doctor said that, blah, 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 blah. In the show, she's like, our doctor. Like, she singles the one person out. Because obviously we know in part 2 that one doctor plays a bigger role. So I kind of noticed the dialogue. I was like, oh, shit, yeah, they're already setting it up, right? But either way, she says, like, our doctor said that if we can remove the cordyceps, that we can somehow reverse engineer it and try to create a cure.
Yeah. Which
Joel's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense though, because cordyceps grows all over the brain. And she's like, yeah, it does. And Joel realizes, oh shit, I'm about to lose another fucking daughter. They're about to kill Ellie.
Yeah.
And so he's not with it, and then he gets all aggressive, and then they kick him down. And he's like, you don't understand. And that's when Marlene says, no, I do understand. I was best friends with her mom for a very long time.
And now we know why.
We get like I said, that scene hits different now.
Exactly.
And she's like, I'm sorry, Joel, but like this is for the best of humanity. This is to save the world.
It is what it is.
He's like, I have no choice. And Joel hit her with a, I do though.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it's gonna be like that. And that's when she's like, march his ass to the highway, give him Ellie's knife, and if he does anything, shoot him.
And before we get to that, I don't know about how you felt about this, Mario, but me and Hav were worried that they weren't gonna do this part justice.
Nah, dude.
That was my biggest worry.
Okay, I see y'all getting crazy. Okay.
Dude, that was my biggest worry.
Okay,
bro.
so Hav, before we get, Hav, I'm gonna give you last because I know you have a lot to say. Mario, okay, what about you, bro?
I mean, this part, bro. I mean, in the game, bro. This is one of the most badass parts in the game, man. And and throughout this series, bro, I never gave a single episode a 10 out of 10.
Not even the Bill and Frank one.
Oh yeah, I did. I forgot. My bad. My bad.
I think you did.
That was the only one I did.
Or the pilot?
I forgot. Did I? No, I didn't. I gave it a 9.
Wait, which one?
The first episode. The pilot.
I gave it a 9, but I rewatched it. And
wait, did I give the Bill and Frank one a 10?
I could have sworn you did.
Oh, did I give it a 9? I know for a fact I did not give it anything lower than a 9.
I could look back.
There's no way
I could look back, real quick, while you.
Okay, but either way, if that's not if I did or didn't, this is either gonna be my first 10 out of 10 or my second 10 out of 10. Which the point is, I didn't give a lot of 10 out of 10s out for this show, obviously, right? But this part in the game, bro, I fucking love because this is where you truly see Joel go demon mode.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like, you see him go demon mode. You see him turn into that emotionless robot that will do anything possible to get what he wants in order to survive. But in this case, in order to survive for him, is in order to get Ellie.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I see him in the stairs, right, and he kills those two guys, I'm like, oh, shit. They got to do this shit, right? And they better spend a good amount of fucking time on this scene.
Okay.
And
before you describe the whole thing, I don't know if you are or not. I just want to... Oh, shit. Sorry, I had my shit muted. Before, because I don't know, were you gonna describe it? What happens?
A little bit. I was gonna let you guys. I was gonna start it off and like just describe how I felt, and then I was gonna let you guys.
Okay, do that. I thought because I wanted to stop you because I wanted Hav to say his piece, and then we'll describe what happened.
Okay.
Yes,
I was about to say like Joel. They're escorting him out, and then he's with these two guards from the Fireflies, and what's it called? Joel disarms them, kills them both. Brutal as fuck, right? And he goes, like I said, into demon mode. He'll do whatever the fuck he has to do to get fucking Ellie. And so he kills the two guys. Everyone's on alert, and we just get this like, it's like kind of silent in a way, but the only sounds you hear is like the beat in the background with the music, and the gunshots.
Yeah.
And you're just seeing him go fucking kamikaze on these motherfuckers. And I want to say more, but I already said what I wanted to say, how it made me feel. Like this part, I was in awe right here, bro. Like I was like, this is it right here. This is fucking Joel that I wanted to see the entire fucking show right here. Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
What did I give it?
9.
I gave it a 9.
So yeah, I went back. Mario gave Bill and Frank a 9, and he says, I think, bro, the first 10 I'll give is probably with Ellie's mom. And that's a prediction.
Then
before you say your rating for this episode, right? Let's save that to the end. But that's what he was saying. This
moment right here, my favorite scene in the whole fucking game.
Dang, Mario, I could have sworn you gave this episode a 10. I think I gave this.
Hav, you can go. You can continue where I left off because I left off where he basically starts.
So Hav, give your take on your worries and everything.
Well, my thing was, bro, is that like I was actually really fucking with this show, and I still do. And I think this show is doing the game justice as far as like adapting it. But one of the things that I did notice, now it's not a huge gripe, but one thing I did notice is how much they've nerfed Joel.
Yeah,
Joel's not very active Joel's not very active in the violent sense.
Yeah,
that he is like in the game. Obviously, well, it's different, right? Because it's a game and you're playing, you have to be. But in the show, like, there's only been
you can still show it.
Yes, they can. Like in the show, like there were a few moments where you see him get violent, right? Whether it be like him beating that one guard
Fedra soldier outside of Boston
in the first episode, or like like that shootout that he has in Kansas when the truck crashes in the laundromat, or like him in the tower shooting with the rifle when those fucking infected came out of the hole and shit, and the bloater and all that shit. But like it's very rare, like you rarely ever see him get super violent. And I kind of wanted to see more of that. That's why my worry about if we were going to get that torture scene from the cannibal episode in the winter, I was worried, like, are they going to show that or not? Because they've been kind of nerfing him, and the fact that they showed it, I was like, okay.
And because they teased it with the other couple.
With the couple from when they were in Wyoming with Tommy and shit. So I was like, I don't know, man. Like, they've been kind of nerfing this dude, right? So, like, a part of me was hoping that in the last episode, we know that in the game, Joel does, like, he does, what he does and goes and tries to save Ellie. Right, he beats that one guard and takes his gun, and he gets his own gear, and then he goes out, just fucking like he just goes demon mode and goes guns blazing and just starts killing everyone and shit. Now, obviously, that scene in the game is brutal because you're playing as him and you're the one killing people.
And they give you an M4.
Yeah, okay,
which you don't get in the entirety of the game.
Yeah,
and right here I mentioned this Hav is like. He decided to keep the rifle, but not the M4 that the dude dropped.
Yeah, I know.
I even told this to Hav. I'm like, how? I mean, bro, why the fuck you picking up a fucking rifle, a semi-auto rifle? Pick up the M4, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But whatever, yeah. It's just like a little thing.
So I was like, I don't know, man, because like they've been kind of nerfing Joel low-key, man. So like, what if this scene doesn't do justice? So my thing was like, this was something that I had told Hector and I told friends at work who also watched the show. I go, hey, man. Obviously, they played the game, right? So it was no spoilers. But I was like, hey, man, listen, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to start counting the bodies. I need to see how many people he kills in that scene. Because if it's like 3 people and that's it, nah, fuck that. That scene is not done justice. So I was worried and I was hoping that they would do it justice. And so obviously, he kills the 2 guards, takes the rifle, and starts just shooting people through glass and from far distances and shit like that. And I gotta tell you, man, I agree with Mario. I think this scene was phenomenal, and I think they really did capture the tone,
the darkness,
especially the music.
Okay,
the music
okay. So
Javi's getting crazy right now.
Hector just took what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
I was just about to get there. No, you're good. You're good. I think while I really liked this scene, bro, I think what made it for me is the music.
Yeah.
It's somber. It's the Last of Us song played in like a different way that it's more like somber. It's more, I guess, tragic. I don't know how to describe it. But
darker.
Darker. Like something about that song that was playing while he was mowing down the fucking fireflies hit different. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. For some reason, listening to that music, watching Joel kill all these people, I don't know why, but the vibe that I got, I felt like I was watching Logan. That Wolverine movie, the last Wolverine movie we got, Logan. I don't know, somehow, for some reason, it gave me a vibe like I was watching Logan. I don't know why, but that's just the vibe that it gave me. But yes, dude, that music, I feel like what made that scene entirely, bro, was the music. The music added another depth to it, man. Another element to that fucking scene that just makes it hit more.
Yeah, because we've seen glimpses of Joel's, like, him being able to be violent and stuff, but now we're seeing it fully, like what he's capable of.
This is like now him unhinged, like he is now all
what's it
out.
called? I was going to say that what even adds it to it to make it more darker and shit, in the scenes that we've gotten previously throughout the season, every time Joel has gone to there, we're like, oh shit, he's actually brutal here. It's because we as a viewer, we're like, oh yeah, he's justified to do that. When he was in Kansas getting mowed down in that scene you're talking about, Hob, that guy where he shot the dude begging for his mom, motherfucker, you were trying to kill him first, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Him in the sniper tower, bro, they're trying to kill you. You're justified to mow these motherfuckers down. Here, we know.
Right. But
hey man, Joel, depending on how you view it, me personally, I like Joel. You're fucking up, bro. She's the cure. I get it. You know what I mean?
But.
Go ahead, bro. Actually, no, I'm
it just makes
I'm
it darker,
gonna mention
bro.
what I'm gonna say at the end.
You go ahead.
At the end. Go ahead, Al.
So I was gonna say that I also, but the thing is, right, is like I was thinking to myself, like, oh man, they've kind of been nerfing Joel. Like he doesn't really, he's not really active in the violent sense a lot. You know, we get glimpses every now and then, but now we get this scene, and he's finally, like I said, Joel unhinged. Like now, this is him going all out. This is the Joel that I wanted to see before, right? So. As I'm watching the scene and he's killing all these fireflies, I immediately understood. I was like, oh, okay, I get the symbolism. I get the deeper meaning. And that is that Joel has recognized that he is too old, too slow, too deaf to be able to protect Ellie. Like, that's why he was afraid. He was scared of losing her. He was scared of losing another daughter. That's why he wanted to give her up to Tommy and have Tommy take her, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, that doesn't go through. He sticks with the journey, and they pal around for the rest of the show. Now he finds out that she is about to die. And now, whereas before he was afraid and he was just like, I can't do it. Now we see a version of Joel get reawakened. Like the old Joel, like he's, you know how he talked about that kid. He was like, oh, he pinned me down. He was choking me. 5 years ago, I would have destroyed him, but I was too fucking slow and deaf to hear him. Like, you know what I mean? So now we're getting the sense of that old Joel, that 5 years ago version of Joel now, because he's doing it out of love, essentially. So I understood the symbolism where it's like, oh, okay, it took the fear of him losing another daughter to bring the old Joel back, and for him to go, fuck my excuses, fuck that I'm too deaf, fuck that I'm too slow, I'm gonna go find Ellie, I gotta go save her because they're about to kill her and nothing is stopping me. Like, that's where that switch flipped in his head and he said, fuck that. And he grabbed that rifle, started killing all those people. If their gun ran out, he would go up to the dead body, take their weapon, use it even more. Then at one point, he runs out of ammo for one gun, so he takes Ellie's knife, stabs a dude in the neck, grabs the M4, and starts shooting down the people in the hallway and in the stairs. Like, now we finally get to see the Joel that we've been teased about and he would talk about and stuff. Yeah. Because it took him being like, oh shit, I'm about to lose another daughter, to reawaken that part and go, fuck that. So I understood the symbolism and I understood, okay, now I understand why Joel wasn't as active in the earlier episodes. Because they wanted to save that version till this scene because his motives were now stronger. They were like, fuck no, I'm not losing another daughter. Because I've already grown attached to her, and you know, time heals all wounds. It wasn't time that did it. Obviously, we've seen this journey. We've seen them grow as a pair together. So I understood the symbolism, and I was like, okay, that's why they kept that's why they kept Joel tame for all these episodes, but he went unleashed in this one to make the scene hit harder. So when I understood the symbolism, I can be like, okay, I get it, and now I'm kind of. I can kind of accept Joel being nerfed in the previous episodes because symbolism wise, for him to be unhinged and like go all out in this scene makes the more sense.
Yeah, it does. But it still does not excuse the no infected.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Man, I'm sick of that shit, man. But well, anyways, we'll get to that. So yeah, we get that cool scene, right? Which I mean, I'm pretty sure we all agree we loved it, right?
Loved.
Oh, we all agree with that. So then we finally get to the
operation room.
The operation room. Yes, for some reason I couldn't come up with that word. That we're finally get to the operation room, right? Right. And
God damn it,
he's
bro.
like, unhook her, and then we get the scene where the doctor's like, I won't let you take her or something.
He got like a scalpel.
Yeah. And I can't actually. Now that I think about it, I can't remember. Have you saw the episode twice? Does he immediately just shoot his ass
right after?
Right after, yeah.
Like
after he says that, I won't let you take her.
Half a second after he says,
like, yeah. Oh, you're right. Because you and I reacted like, damn, like no hesitation, right? Because in the game, when I'm assuming the way I played it, right, from what I remember, like I was just making it dramatic. I was just pointing at the gun. I was like, damn, I gotta kill this guy, and I was just like hesitating and stuff. And then I shot him in the head. And I killed everyone else. I killed everyone else.
I forgot what I did. I know I killed one of them for sure.
I did too. I killed all the nurses.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to.
You only got to kill one.
Yeah, I just did it.
Yeah.
But I did him. But here, Joel ends up killing that dude like instantly, and he lets everyone else go. And the nurses are unhooking her, and he eventually takes her. And then I saw like rumors, and like I guess I don't know if it's confirmed. Maybe you know about this. How like one of the nurses, I guess, is the voice actor who plays Abby from oh, is it
from part 2? Yeah.
I had no idea. Obviously, I didn't know. I thought it was a nurse.
No one knows because they were wearing face masks and shit.
Right.
It wasn't until after the episode aired that on her Instagram she posted a picture of her revealing her face without the.
So
face mask.
Is that just like a little cameo? Is it?
Yeah.
Speculation. Is that Abby is she gonna play Abby in the?
No.
You know what I mean?
No, she won't.
Oh, okay.
You know what's funny is that I saw people on TikTok fan casting Abby. And people are saying that they're fan casting the girl who played the warrior chick in Quantumania. because she
warrior chick.
Yeah, that remember.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what she looks like.
Oh nah.
You know why? Because there was a video of her on the red carpet, like for Quantumania, like when they're on the red carpet.
And she looked like Abby or something.
Bro, she was wearing like, you know how like females sometimes wear like suits, like suits where like the sleeves are cut off.
Okay.
It's just like the torso and the pants.
Okay.
And bro,
she was ripped.
She was built like not hella built, right? But she had she had muscle.
Okay.
And she had like short hair or whatever off to the side, and people were like, "Well, we found our Abby."
I mean, I've seen other
and I was like,
casts.
I was like, oh, I mean, I guess I understand why.
I've seen other fan casts. Let me see if I can look them up.
Oh, and Neil Druckmann also debunked a theory from the show.
What?
There was a scene where when Joel was going crazy in the hospital, we saw someone running down the hall, and someone said that they could have sworn that their silhouette showed a ponytail.
Oh yeah,
and
I thought I saw that too.
And that was Abby getting away. Neil Druckmann debunked it. He's like, nope, that's not Abby. That's just some random Firefly person. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
At least he confirmed that.
Yes.
Okay. So after that, so we killed the. Joe ends up taking Ellie and stuff.
Goes down to the parking garage.
Yeah, and then we have that scene with Marlene, like that we had in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Marlene's pointing the gun at Joe's like, it doesn't have to be this way, right? Trying to, negotiate with him and stuff. And man, the way that played out, Mario, do you want to take it? We're Marley and then
they're in the park. What'd you say?
I said Marley. Marlene.
They're in the parking garage.
Wait, she's the Marlene. She's the girl who voiced and played and acted as Marlene in the game, right?
Yeah, same chick.
Right? I thought that was pretty cool.
No, yeah, it is cool.
Dude, she looks like Marlene. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same chick. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways.
But no, they're in the parking lot, and Marlene's basically telling Joel like, "Hey, I know what you did, but guess what? It's not too late. We can still go back. We can still fix this or whatever. We can save the world and all that shit." And I forget what Joel says. He says some shit, dude. But
she's like, I
just don't remember the dialogue.
She says something like, "How much longer till she gets like?"
Oh, she dies.
She gets torn apart by.
Yeah, there you go.
And, like the dialogue is basically the same as the game, where she's like, "Well, how much longer until she gets torn apart by clickers?" Because she lives in a broken world that you could have helped save.
Yeah,
if you let us do the cure. And he's like, "That's not for you to decide." And she's like, "Well, not you either."
Yeah.
She's like, "You're doing this out of selfishness.
Yeah.
You know this operation creating a cure
is what she would want.
Is what Ellie would want."
Mm-hmm.
And Joel doesn't say shit because she's right.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Ellie was like, "There's no going back from this. We finished what we started."
Yeah.
Because she's like, "We need to do this for Riley. We got to do this for Tess, for Sam." Like what I mentioned earlier. Like it's true. She would have wanted to go through with this, but Joel, he couldn't bear losing another kid, and so he did it. Like he was just like, "Nope, fuck that."
So, just real quick, going back to fan casting, people wanted to see Ronda Rousey, the UFC fighter.
Get the fuck out of here,
Ronda Rousey.
You're fucking stupid.
To play as Abby.
No, you're fucking stupid. No, I know how she. Yeah, no.
Wait, why is that stupid?
No.
She kind of looks like Abby.
Hell no, she's a fucking terrible actor, dude. She's
Oh,
fucking.
no.
Yo, why is Hob going like taking it off right now? You see
She's terrible.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's just people are saying. It's just fan.
I know, but people are being stupid.
Yo, how he acting like he in the right?
Imagine Hob acting like he fucking punched his sister or something.
Bro,
no, bro.
Yo,
imagine people like their fan casts are fucking dumb, bro.
Listen. Imagine if.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Hey, imagine if Javi wrote a movie or whatever. Like, let's say he's like Neil Druckmann, right? And you know how like Neil Druckmann and like James Gunn debunk shit. Like, no, that's not how it's like James Gunn. No, guys, that's not Abby. Whatever. No, of course, whatever. Javi would be like, "Fuck no, y'all dumb as hell.
Do you even have a single brain cell, you dumb bitch?"
Yeah, he'd be yelling,
"What the fuck?
No, you dumb as hell, guys."
People are fucking stupid, bro.
But yeah, that's what people are
She
saying.
was bro. NetherRealm Studios. They took an L, bro, because when they did Mortal Kombat 11, they casted Ronda Rousey to voice one of the characters in the game, a fan favorite character, an iconic character from the Mortal Kombat games. Because this girl in the game, her name's Sonya Blade, and she's like this military girl that like she's like that woman, like that blonde chick, right? That military lady.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You know what? This is a badass female. in our game. Let's cast a real badass female to voice her character.
And it was bad?
And no, dude, her voice acting is trash.
That's where
bro.
the hatred comes from.
Fuck no, she's fucking
that, yeah.
Okay, so that's another.
She was also in Fast and
Okay,
Furious.
I have
and she
another
was-
fan cast. Okay, maybe you like this one better.
Oh no, okay, I'm scared.
I don't know who this is. Shannon Barry.
Who was that? Show me.
I don't know who this is.
Shannon Barry.
I've.
But I mean, she do look like Abby.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know who that is. Maybe you know. I think that's her name, Shannon Barry, right there.
She does not look familiar. She
I
looks
don't
like a cosplayer. I don't think she's an actor. Is she?
Oh, I have no idea.
Look,
bro.
look at these pictures.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea,
These
bro.
pictures look like cosplay.
Oh, you're right. Well, either way, okay, guys. If she's an actor, if she's a cosplayer, I've seen on Twitter people are like even if she's a cosplayer, oh, why not give her a shot, try acting, whatever. But like bringing in actors who are not actors, like amateurs, or whatever, is kind of risky.
Yeah,
like,
it's like fuck no.
But to be fair, even if she is a cosplayer or not, she do look like Abby.
Well, sure, yeah.
She could play an Abby.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, let me see. The Last of Us fans want Shannon Barry to play Abby in season 2.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Hav, do you want? Okay, where were we again? Oh yeah, Hav, describe the scene with Marlene and Joel.
I mean, well, he basically already described it.
Did?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Actually?
Yeah, but
Man, I was distracted.
yeah, you're doing that. He was talking about it.
Where he ends up shooting her?
No, we haven't gotten there yet. That's when you interrupted him.
well, no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you get to that? I'm gonna read this and find out if she's a cosplayer or not.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No, I mean, basically, after that whole scene, we see Joel back in the truck, and he's driving away. And it does that thing that it does in the game, where it psychs you out. You're like, oh, Joel actually left her. No way, Ellie's dead, right? But then you hear Ellie in the back seat, and she wakes up, and then we get the scene where, Joel basically lies to Ellie, saying that, oh, we found the fireflies, but it turns out there's a bunch of more immune people, just like you. And the doctor said that it's no good, and they actually stopped looking for a cure.
Okay, so I guess real quick. So no, she is an actor, bro.
Oh.
It says right here, she recently played Dot in The Wilds on Prime Video. I don't know. So people are thinking, oh, it could be her. And not only that, The Last of Us co-creator Neil Druckmann also follows her on Instagram. And fans are, because of that, they're kind of putting two together. Oh my god, like
Okay.
I mean, because of that Instagram follow right there.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
possible.
That's what the speculation is going on. On top of that, Shannon also follows both Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal, as well as the show's official account. But then again, everyone's following them, right?
It's the fact that Neil's following her. That's the big thing.
Right. Fans have been posting side-by-side comparisons of the two of them. The vision is so beyond clear, one user wrote, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so I guess she is an actor, bro.
Actress?
Actress, yes. People are fan casting her, and I guess Neil Druckmann follows her on Instagram. So, I don't know. We gotta see what the fuck's going on. But she do look like Abby though.
Yeah.
Fucking man, let's have Ronda Rousey, bro. How long would you last with her in a ring?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'd obliterate her.
I'd last. Oh, how many rounds are there? I'll last all of them.
What'd you say?
I'll last all of them.
All of them.
I ain't talking about fighting rounds.
Oh my.
I'm talking about these rounds.
I'm talking about high caliber rounds.
I'm talking about 50 caliber rounds.
That's funny as hell. I was talking about the rounds.
I know.
I was talking about that rounds. That's the rounds I was talking about.
Yeah.
But you brought in the actual rounds from guns. That's actually funny. It's a double whammy. That's a double whammy. We call it a tag team. Triple tag team Hell in the Cell. Hey man, I'm doing Hell in the Cell with Ronda Rousey. What you talking about, girl? Hell in the Cell.
We're in the cell so no one can stop my ass.
Hey bro, I'm in the cell with her in custody for Ellie, bro.
What the fuck?
Custody for Ellie. Hey man, this is what it is,
way.
man. But yeah, okay, guys. She's not a cosplayer. She is an actress. Like I said, in Prime Video, The Wilds. If you guys haven't heard, Neil Druckmann follows her. So
Like I said, that right there is the big thing.
Yeah, so that's why people are speculating. So we just got to see, guys.
Yeah.
But okay, fuck Ronda Rousey, I guess. Cool, according to Javi. But
Literally, there was so much passion
right,
in the
dude.
way he
I was
says,
like, dude, what'd she do?
fuck her.
It's
She
like-
a bitch. She's a terrible actor.
bro, it's like he knew her like
yeah,
personally.
for her, like you had beef with her. Wait, you do have beef with her.
Like
Yeah,
like
man.
fuck that bitch. Like
Yeah.
she rejected me. In
That shit made me laugh. I'm like, yo, hop, like, yo, chill, like, what the fuck? It ain't that bad.
Hey,
like she does, like, I get it.
That's facts.
Hey, listen, man. I told you I'll fly him out, man.
Fly out Ronda Rousey.
Hey, yo, Bill. Hey, we call it Bill. You know Ronda Rousey?
He's like, you know Ronda Rousey, Bill?
Hell
He's like, yeah, what about her? It's like, what do you think of her?
Fuck her. I was playing Mortal Kombat and the other day.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. All right. Anyways, okay, before I interrupted with this,
We were
bullshit.
in the car with Joel.
I basically said that Joel lies to Ellie.
Yeah.
Right. But even though we know what really happened, he
Right.
lies to her saying like, "Oh yeah, Raiders came in and I barely got you out, and there is no cure, and the doctors gave up, and it is what it is."
Mm-hmm.
And one of my theories that I had when I first played the game was I was like when I first played the game 10 years ago on when the game first came out, I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool," like that, and that's just kind of how it is, right? But then after replaying it recently, when they came out with that remake for PlayStation 5, that scene, like, now I kind of interpreted it a little differently, because when he says that shit, Ellie has this look on her face, and I'm like, oh shit, does she not believe him?
Yeah, and like she turns around.
Yeah, like I'm like, wait a minute, is there a sense that maybe she didn't believe him? Because I didn't think about that before, but like when I was replaying the game, I was like, oh shit, like does she not believe?
I think it could be
him?
two ways: her not believing, or maybe her thinking like, "Dang,
This was all for nothing."
right. I'm not that special," or like whatever. I took it those two ways. I think, you know what I mean.
I think maybe when I first played the game, that's the way I took it.
Oh,
Where
that she's
kinda-
like not
where-
special.
Not that she's not
That
special,
one?
but rather
Oh,
that she's like, oh, all this was for nothing, and there's no
okay,
cure and
okay.
fuck. Like,
Right.
we're just kind of stuck this
But
way.
it does make sense that she could think like maybe he's lying. But I wonder what would trigger that, right? It's like how would, like, I don't know, because she does end up having that speculation. But yeah,
Yeah.
she does. She makes that face and like she ends up turning around, and Joel's just looking through her in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And that's it. We get to, they're getting close to Tommy's place, and they're hiking and stuff, and then we have this dialogue, like them talking about, oh, you know, you would have liked Sarah, like all these different things. Like I really like that scene. And then we finally get the crucial scene, the scene where it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, we're finally at Tommy's, and then we finally get where Ellie's like, where she talks about Riley. She finally reveals Riley and like all these different things. And to be honest, man, I kind of that's just a nitpick. All right, guys, don't come at me. I don't know if y'all gonna attack me. It's a nitpick. I kind of liked in the game how Ellie described the scene with Riley in the game more. Like, I think it's just the way she said it, and like her acting is like, because the way she said it here was like really straightforward. Like, you know, she said, "What if we just, you know, lose our minds together, like on some poetic stuff or like some bullshit." I forgot what it was. But in the game, she's like, in the game, she seems like more emotional. She said, you know, like, what if we just lose our minds together, like all poetic and shit. Like, I don't know how to explain it. She gave it more. I could play it. I could find a clip. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I know
compare
what you
it.
mean.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you mean.
That's just like a nitpick. I think I preferred it more in the game, just how it was presented in the
Sure,
game.
yeah.
The way she said that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I think that was my only nitpick with that, whatever. And so finally, Ellie asked the questions like, "Swear to me," right?
That everything you said
Right.
was true.
And you get that gut feeling, man. When I played the game, I felt that gut feeling. I'm like, "Oh, Joe, you bitch! Like, what are you gonna say? Like, what are you gonna say?" And Joe, just like what any dad would do to protect their kids or whatever, they would lie to them and be like, "I swear," you know. But before he gets to that point, you know, we get that line in the scene where like, "Hey, well, you just have to keep looking for something to fight for," like that whole dialogue, right? But yeah, and then we finally get that entire scene. And my question is, what did you guys think about what'd you think? I'm gonna go hot first, Mario. What'd you think about that scene, bro? Like, did you think it hit hard like it did in the game, or did you like the game better? Do you think that what do you think? Did you like the performance here? What do you think, bro?
I think it was fine.
You think it was just fine?
I think they did it well. I didn't really have any nitpicks with it. Then
Right.
again, I can understand where you're coming from about her not showing enough emotion in her voice when she delivered those lines like she did in the game. But then again,
Yeah.
and maybe the reason I didn't have a problem with it was because Bella Ramsey's performance in the entire show never really had that kind of little girl sort of emotional twang in her voice. You know, she kind of spoke with a little more maturity in her voice. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why she didn't really show a lot of emotion. Because if you were to compare the voices, not even just like, you're not even listening for emotion. You're just listening to the straight up just voice between Ashley Johnson's Ellie and Bella Ramsey's Ellie. Yeah. They're very different. And maybe that's why in the game it sounds like she had more emotion, because it's just kind of like how her voice is.
I mean, it's just the way she, I think, delivered it. Like when what episode was it? What episode was it where Joel finally takes in Ellie and they're in that room?
Oh yeah, that's the Tommy episode, right?
What episode was that?
Fuck, 5?
No, not the Tommy episode, bro. Like, it's the beginning.
Oh, it's the beginning.
Where like he finally takes Ellie off of Marlene. And
they're that's the very first one.
Is that the first?
Yeah, that's the very first episode.
First episode?
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure it was the first episode? Really?
Yes.
It wasn't the second?
No.
What was the second?
The second episode was Joel, Ellie, and Tess.
Oh shit, you're right. Okay, sorry. Okay, the first episode, like my nitpick, right, with Joel when he's laying down and Ellie's like, "What am I supposed to do?" That's like a nitpick where Joel, he's like, "I'm sure you'll figure that out." Like when he says it like that, but in the game, it sounds like more like old manish, like more whatever. And it's crazy because, like I said in the show, I guess he's more older. So in the game, he's like, "Well, I'm sure you'll figure that out." Like he sounds like more tired and more older. But here, it sounded like he was like annoyed. Like, "I'm sure you'll figure that out." You know what I mean? Just a little nitpick of delivery. Like, I don't know. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro.
I know what you mean. I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm comparing that to what Ellie did in here, how she delivered the lines with Riley. It's just like a little nitpick. It didn't really ruin the episode. I'm just saying, like, dang, like I kind of like the delivery in the game more. But then we finally, boom, end credits, bro. Finally, like that's
it ends identically the way that in the game.
Yeah, that's how it ends, dude. And I seen on, like, and before we get to our ratings and we give our overall rating of the show, obviously a bunch of people who were watching the show never played the game, and I've seen on Twitter people going crazy
in the game.
People were going crazy, bro. People were upset with Joel, and people were like, "Why do they make Joel into like a bad guy or like whatever?" Right? And to me, I'm like, "Dang, bro."
And we're like,
crazy.
And we're all like, "Yeah, we heard all this before."
Right? I'm like, "Dang!" And people were upset. You know, people were really upset. Like, "Oh my god, like what?" Like people were upset about the show. Like, "Oh, they ruined it. Why the fuck did they make Joel an asshole? Why did they make Joel like blah blah blah?" And to be honest, bro, when I played the game, I didn't like. Sure, I thought Joel was like, "Dang, Joe, you crazy." But like, I didn't think of him as asshole. For me personally, I thought of him like, "Oh, I get it, bro. Hey,
cruel world.
You
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, evil world we live in. You do got what you do." So it's really interesting and fun to see people watching it for the first time and giving their opinions. And I think that's what's great about this game is that the ending is so controversial that's still talked about today. Whether was Joel in the right or was he in the wrong, and so I thought it was really cool seeing people's perspectives. You know, oh my god, people absolutely hated it. They're like, "Bro, no way!" Like people were like, "They ruined Joel." That's what they'd be saying. They ruined Joel, man. Fuck Joel, man.
Don't worry, y'all.
Why did Joel do this?
Don't worry, y'all. We'll get to the part where they ruined Joel.
Oh yeah, right. But so like that's what they were saying, and I thought like that's really interesting. And so it's I wanted to ask you guys. I'm gonna get your opinion. I'll start with Mario this time. Your opinion, Mario. What did you think, man? Do you think Joel was in the right, or was he in the wrong?
Nah, he was in the wrong, in my opinion, bro.
He was in the wrong.
I mean, it's like, technically, like it's not even your real daughter.
Yeah.
It's one, and two, she wanted to do it.
He said, "Fuck humanity."
No, bro. And two, it's not the fact that you know she was willing to do it, and you know it wasn't against her will.
Yeah.
It's you being selfish.
Right.
It's straight up just that. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, bro. Like if Ellie was like, "No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but I know I have to do it," or some shit like that, I'll be like, okay. She was only doing it because she knows she has to. Well, you know what I mean?
Then again, to be fair, I don't know, like I think you mentioned this before. I don't know why Joel never mentioned to Ellie, like, "Hey, like you were gonna, like, if you went through this surgery, you would have died." Because like she never knew. Yeah. She didn't know that.
She didn't.
No.
So I'm like, dang, like only if she knew. I feel like they should have told her.
Like, yeah.
They should have told her, and let's see. Like, I feel like they should have told her. Well, I gotta speak to Ellie. Did you talk with Ellie? yeah, we spoke with her, or like maybe be in the same room and talk about it, and have her accept it. Ellie be like, you know what, fine, I'll do it. Where and she accepted, then have Joel not accept it.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
I
know what you mean.
Because like that's another thing, you know. And same with like her holding the grudge in part 2. We still never got confirmation that Joel never told her, hey, I saved you because you would have died or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? We never get that. So my question is like, does Ellie not know? That was the
Joel
outcome?
never told her that
no,
she was really?
No, right? What? Joel never told Ellie that
that she was gonna die
but going through the surgery.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did
in part 2.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
In that scene when they confront and that outside of it, I was about to say, bro. Yes, he did.
Are you sure?
That's why Ellie gets so mad. It's like that was my choice.
Oh
like,
yeah, right. She's like, that was my choice.
It was one of the. It was one of the flashback scenes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh shit!
It's the flashback scene that we now understand why Ellie and Joel are not talking and why she's been avoiding him and they're not speaking terms. Yeah, he admits it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I could have sworn.
That was in part 2.
I thought he didn't. I played that bitch once, man. Back in 2020.
We all did.
I forgot.
We all did.
How'd y'all remember? What the fuck?
Well, I just remember that scene because I said, bro, like I said,
oh, okay.
All the scenes with Joel and Ellie in part 2 were my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Well, okay. Never mind. I guess that's different. So yeah, man. Fucking. Okay, so you thought it was wrong and everything. Me personally, man. Fuck, man. Now, I think that, yes, he was in the wrong. Obviously, he was in the wrong. But back then, 13-year-old me, I was like, nah, he in the right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's just how I thought. I'm like, nah, man, Joe, you do you, man. You in the right. I would have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. Right? And because I had a crush on her. I didn't want her to die, bro. Like, hey, man, she my girl, man. I ain't trying to, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? How? Chill the fuck out. How? When I was 13, bro.
Oh.
Back then.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I
know.
That is why I said back then. That's why I said Joel was in the right.
Yeah, I know.
Because I didn't want her to die because I had a crush on her. That's why. Hell no. But now, right now as a grown man, like you know what I mean, I have better morals. I do like, yeah, man. Joel is definitely in the wrong, man. Like you just, but it's tough. Like here, look, he's in the wrong, but I understand. You know what I mean? He's in the wrong, but I understand why he did it. And I think that's what matters, man. You just got to understand why he did it. And truthfully, we could say he's wrong or right all the time, but like we wouldn't know what we would do if we were in that shoes in that moment. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I think. What do you think, bro?
Personally, bro, I thought he was in the right.
Ooh, he's in the right. Really hard for humanity. The stake of humanity. Well, who knew it?
Fuck humanity.
Well, to be honest, like who knew like that would work? You know what I mean?
No one would. Yeah, well, yeah,
like,
no.
You never know it would work.
It's funny because IGN reported an article earlier this week that were like scientists prove Joel was right. I was like, and I don't know. I didn't read the article. I didn't give a fuck. But I'm assuming because like
it just wouldn't have worked.
Maybe the logic of like what the game was going off, or like, oh, if we remove the cordyceps, we can reverse engineer a vaccine. Like maybe that's what they were talking about. I don't know. I didn't open the article.
I figured they could just do blood work. Yeah. Can't they do it with like blood or blood in a stream or stuff like that? You know what I mean? It's like, but whatever. Okay.
I don't know. For the sake of plot,
yeah,
they had to make it dramatic, I guess.
Okay.
And
he was in the right.
I believed he was in the right.
Dang,
I believe he was. You know why? Well, because, like, you know, what was the purpose of this whole game or this whole show?
Yeah.
This show would.
Well, the purpose was the cure. Finding the cure. That was the plot. I mean, that was the main. That was the main point.
That was the mission.
Yeah,
but it's not what the show was about.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that was the plot. Like that was a plot. That's what they were aiming for. That was the end goal. That's what everything was based on.
Right, it was the end goal. But what the show and the game were both really about was it was kind of like that classic father and daughter story that we usually always get, right? Like with Logan or other things I can't think of, but I just felt like he was in the right because very much like with what we talked about earlier, he just couldn't bear to lose another daughter figure, especially when he tried so hard to stay emotionally cut off from the world. And, this girl comes along and breaks through the cracks and starts to get him to feel again. And to the point where he lets himself feel, but then he doesn't but then he's afraid that he's going to lose her, so he tries to cut her off. Then he realizes that Ellie also tells him that he means so much to her because they grew close, that he's like, well, fuck, like, I can't leave her side now. And so he accepts it, and he accepts her as family. And, you know, we see them grow and become this sort of father-daughter relationship build between the two, that when he finds out that she's going to die, he couldn't accept that. He couldn't bear to accept that he was going to be the failure a second time. Especially since now we know that the first time it went, he had to go through with that. He almost ended his life, and he didn't handle it very well.
Right.
So for him to have to go through with it again, and for him to be like, no, like I have to go.
Would you say it was morally wrong?
Morally?
Yeah.
So like how so? Like, oh, should he have killed all those people? Like, is that what you mean? Or like, were his intentions?
Yes, him killing all the fireflies.
Okay.
Because to be fair, they were innocent, right?
Well,
as
sure.
we know.
No, yeah.
That and the potential of saving humanity, right? Because morally, what I'm saying is, morally, yes, you choose not to kill the innocent people and have the chance to save humanity and millions to sacrifice one. It's one of those things where you have 5 people on the train tracks on this side, and the other one, and you have to kill one of them. Which one are you gonna do? You're gonna do the one. Sure, you killed one, but you saved other lives. Like, morally, that's the right thing to do. So my thing is, like, do you think morally he was wrong, or do you think maybe he was morally right because, hey, this is like my daughter figure, like I built this bond with her, maybe, like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I guess it's torn.
That's what, yeah.
It's really torn because technically no, because he, like you said, he killed innocent people. Like, those fireflies didn't do shit, and then he killed innocent people, and he was using it as self-defense. It's not like he killed them in cold blood. They were attacking back, but it's only because they acted upon what he acted first. But at the same time, like I said, he reacted out of emotion. Because he couldn't bear to lose another daughter figure. He couldn't go through that.
So
grief,
okay, so we've established. Okay, you think it's right. So my question would be, do you think? Fuck, dude! I just had a fucking my train of thought just left me. Fuck. Yeah, I forgot, man. Fuck. I'm not, dude. I had something. I was about to.
Do you think?
I was about to get his ass. We're not getting. Well, it's not getting. It's not getting you. But like, it was a good question because you thought it was right. Oh, sorry, I got it. You think he did the right thing, right? Do you think, even though he did the right thing, do you still think that he's selfish and a bad person for doing that? Hey, that's
not
a good question.
Bad person, but he was very.
He killed innocent people.
He was selfish.
But he killed innocent people, Hav. That's
kill
bad.
innocent.
That's bad people. That's a bad person. You're a bad person if you're killing innocent people.
Yes. But I just mean, like, his intentions behind it. That's what I mean.
I mean, let's say
he didn't just kill people for fun. Like, he did it because they were in the way of him and between him and his daughter.
But like, your intentions, you could think it's good, other people could think it's bad. It's like subjective. Right?
Yeah. Well,
so like if there's a serial killer and he thinks God told me to do this, you're still gonna, even though he thinks his intentions are somewhere else, you're still gonna think of him. No, bro, you're still a bad person. You killed all these people, even though your intentions were pure because God told you. That's the way I see it.
Right.
Like, to me, okay, you said you don't think so. Okay, you said he wasn't a bad person, but do you think he's selfish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course he is.
So with me, I think he's selfish, and to be honest, I think in generality, I think he is a bad person, because good people don't do what he does, right? And especially, we don't, like I said, man, we should have got a fucking episode with him and Tommy. I wanted to see, he might have done even more bad shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Which considers him a bad person, right? So, Mario, asking you, what about you, bro? Do you think he's selfish and a bad person, or maybe he's not a bad person and you're just selfish? Like, what is your take on that?
Nah, he was most definitely selfish here. I would say in the beginning he's a bad person, but near the end of the show, I think Ellie does rub off on him a little bit, and he eases off on him doing like I feel like he would only do fucked up shit when it's warranted. To him, I should say.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Well, I mean, okay.
Most definitely, he was a bad person.
Right. All right. Wait. I just wanted to ask you that. And I mean, to the listeners, man, what do you guys think, man? What is your take, man? That's why this game is really cool, man. It's just everybody has their own opinion, their own take, their own opinion. You know, is he a good person? Is he a bad person? Did he do the right thing? Did he do the bad thing? So I think it's really cool. You know, we can have these types of discussions. So before we end it off, we're gonna give our rating for the episode, and then we'll give an overall rating of the season. Mario, I'm gonna start with you, bro. What would you rate this episode, man?
I mean, from the very beginning, you know, seeing, you know, Ellie's mom, that whole scene, that I think this was an amazing intro to an episode and to a last episode, and especially because it was the voice actor for Ellie for the game, and then just all the events and what that happened or that occurred in this episode. I felt everything just hit, and it hit differently. And I'm talking specifically. That scene in the hospital when Joel does anything he possibly can to get to quote unquote save Ellie from dying, and I think that was just executed to perfection. And up until the very end, where shit's just taken from the game into the fucking show, and I'm just like, wow, this is probably the best adaptation I've ever seen, like in the show and in anything possible.
So was episode 3 Mario right? I think I'm gonna give my first 10 with Ellie's mom.
I will most definitely agree. This last episode was a 10 out of 10.
Dang, even as a 10, girl.
It was.
That's crazy.
This episode was. It was incredible, man.
Wow. Okay, that's your first 10, I think. Yeah, that's your first 10 out of all the episodes.
Damn, bro.
What about you, bro?
For me, bro, I felt like this episode did the just like the last episode with the cannibals did the episode justice to the game. So I'd probably give this episode a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. And yeah, you guys made all your points. I'm gonna agree. This is 10 out of 10.
Well, that's no fun.
Hey, what can we do?
No, I know. I'm just fucking.
What if I give it a 5?
That'd be crazy.
That's crazy.
Damn, for real?
No, but no. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Okay, so for this episode. Okay, now Mario, back to you. Overall, right? This overall rating for the fucking whole show, bro.
I'm gonna start off right off the rip that I think this is probably the best video game to live action adaptation I think I've ever seen.
Yep, I agree with that.
I think this is number one. I am hoping that that this shows companies like, hey, if you do it right, this shit will hit and it'll be a banger. So I'm hoping,
like, imagine a game, like a straight game adaptation, but like with Resident Evil.
I mean,
No, but
I know what you mean.
One.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that
would
would
be so
hit.
sick. Dude.
I mean, I'm hoping.
It could be a franchise.
No,
it literally could be a franchise.
No, because there's a movie that's gonna come out.
Oh, really?
And the director of John Wick's behind it, and it's from a video game, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, really?
That's getting a movie, and John Wick director is
the
behind
John
it.
Wick director is working on that one.
He's a director.
I knew that was coming out, but
I
didn't know they were making.
He's a director behind it, bro.
Bro, I had no
and
idea.
I'm fucking praying to fucking God that shit bangs, bro. Because Tsushima has an amazing story. It was an amazing game.
That shit lit.
I mean, John Wick never missed, so.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. That's why I have hopes for it. I was like, oh shit, I saw the first John Wick. I liked it. So but back to my point. I think this is the best adaptation from a game to live action I think I've ever seen. Does that make it a masterpiece? This is a 10 out of 10 adaptation. No, because I do have a few gripes with it. I think they need to show more effective, bro. You know, like it's like very. We only get that one episode where he gets crazy with
right.
You know, what's her name?
And oh yeah, go ahead.
What's her name? The annoying character.
Who?
That we thought like, bro, she annoying.
Oh, Kathleen.
Yeah, Kathleen. Her.
Oh, Kathleen.
Yeah, bro.
Man, fuck that hoe. There's we didn't need Kathleen.
Yeah, I know, but like the whole point was like that episode was the only time we really got a lot of infected and shit.
She had 2 episodes too, bro.
Yeah, I know. But no, I think everything else it was. I think this was an amazing adaptation. You know, the story was great. I think they stuck. The additions they made, I felt were justified. I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I like that addition to it. You know what I mean? Did it feel a little bit rushed in certain areas? Most definitely to me. But I mean, that being said, overall, this show, I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10.
That's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
I see the show as the thing that you recommend to people who don't play video games.
Yeah.
This is the way you really see it. Or you recommend it to someone like, hey, if you played the video game, yeah, sure, check out the show. But if you want to experience The Last of Us story for the first time, I recommend getting the game.
Yeah, same here.
I would say get the game.
Absolutely,
or if you're not really
dude.
a gamer, like your parents or just people who don't game, like it's like be like, you know what, you can just watch the show. The show does a very good job adapting the game.
Right. Yeah.
But I just kind of like because I had heard someone say like, oh, I see The Last of Us as like Last of Us for your parents. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, low key, right? Because my parents don't be gaming like that. What the fuck?
That's true.
They don't be on COD and shit. What the fuck, on Warzone bullshit? That's weird as fuck.
Okay.
So for that, I would give it a 9.2. Strong 9.
All right. Thanks. Strong 9s. Okay. Let's see what I get. Let's see.
I already know what he's gonna give it.
My gripes, man. Like I said, less infected, which I don't know if I mentioned in this podcast. I know I mentioned it off podcast, but just if I did, whatever. I'm just say it really quickly. Neil Druckmann confirmed that there will be more infected in part 2.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, at least he's kind of noticing, man. Like, he's noticing. The fans are like, kind of like, what the fuck, bro? We kind of need more infected. And to me, he's like, oh, it's not about the infected. It's about the people. I'm like, fuck you, bro. Let's be real. Like, that to me, that's just excuses. You could balance shit out. Or even throw in there, like, some, what I gave you an example, right? With Riley, oh, it took me a week to clear this mall out or whatever, right? Like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Or like, hey, we can't go on that side of the mall. It's infected over there. You know what I mean? Like, little subtle signs to show that infected is serious. That's I think my biggest gripe. The show did feel like a bit rushed, man. I feel like this could have been like a 12-episode series. I low-key wanted to see that. I felt like a little bit rushed sometimes. Like, we're moving too quickly. I kind of wish I wanted certain episodes to bleed into another episode. What else? I agree with Mario. It is the best adaptation of a game, bro, like ever, bro, that we've gotten. This is definitely a great show. Besides those things, I guess, Bill and Frank, like I said, get the fuck out. We don't need that shit. I just wish, and like I said, we don't know, man. What if HBO said you only guys have 9 episodes? Because HBO they just didn't see the potential, right? But my thing is, was it who decided on the 9th episode? I'm like, did Neil Druckmann and Craig did they want it to be longer? But HBO said nah, so like that's what they had to work with. So that's like another thing that I wish I knew. But other than that, bro, this still is a great, enjoyable show. Like what Javi said, anybody could watch this and just really like it, and it's still true to the game. So I think I'm agree with you guys, man. It's a 9 out of 10. The game was 10 out of 10 though.
The game is
10. The game is 10 out of 10.
The game is
masterpiece.
Perfection.
Oh, this is 9
masterpiece.
out of 10, right?
Yes. Play the remake, y'all. Might as well, right?
Okay,
better graphics and all that.
Yeah. But so quick recap. This episode, we all gave it a 10. And the season overall score, we all gave it a 9.
9.
Yep.
And yeah, man, this is wow, man.
That's it for the last. That's it for the last one until season
part 2.
2.
Until what? Until 2 years from now?
I don't know, man.
I don't even know.
Fuck.
Probably 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Because they haven't even started filming.
Yeah. Yeah, because didn't they say they wanted to see what the reception was about this and like everything like that?
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a wraps, literally. Man, we're completely done. We're done with the journey.
One could say, this is The Last of Us.
Until part 2. Until part 2. It can't be for nothing.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. All right, guys. Well, yeah, that's gonna be our review, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember, as always, don't let your past haunt you, guys. Take care.
Peace.
See ya.